my goodness!
Whoa, what? What's the problem?
It's been 15 years since Enchanted and the sequel promised to be more musical than ever. Which of these returning stars is getting their chance to shine? And which one froze up at the very idea of singing? Let's get into it.
We have a fairy tale life.
Number 1. This must have been a shock. Gabriella Baldacchino thought she was joining a Zoom meeting for another round of auditions when Amy Adams suddenly joined the chat and announced that Baldacchino had gotten the role of Giselle's stepdaughter Morgan.
Congratulations!
Original actress Rachel Convoy, who's just a little too old for the role now, nonetheless showed her support on the blue carpet for Disenchanted at the El Capitan Theater in Hollywood. Number 2. Say it with a song. Songwriters Alan Menken and Stephen Schwartz wrote 7 new songs for Disenchanted, including reprisals. Menken has admitted that they took inspiration from old Disney classics such as Snow White and Cinderella. On top of that, Schwartz also challenged Menken to write what they described as an homage to Defying Gravity from Wicked. Disenchanted is meant to be more musical than its predecessor, and every single character will be singing this time.
I love this score. I love the score deeply.
Number 3. Who would have thought McDreamy gets stage fright? Patrick Dempsey was terrified to sing in Disenchanted, considering he's never sang before in public, and he was starring alongside such musical talents as Amy Adams and Idina Menzel. When asked if she gave Dempsey any tips on set, Menzel replied,
I don't give advice like that.
and he should just be himself and enjoy the moment.
Oh, it was nice to be in your world.
Oh, yeah, you did an amazing job.
It was fun. I had a great time, and it was an honor to be a part of it.
Number 4. What an enchanting setting. Much of Disenchanted was shot in Ireland, with the fictional Monroeville actually being repurposed out of the small Irish village of Enniskerry Wicklow. This tiny town nestled in the foothills of a beautiful mountainous region is sometimes referred to as the Garden of Ireland.
The whole environment had this magical quality to it.
What setting could be better suited for making our cast truly feel as though they're living a fairy tale?
Working in Ireland, it's just been a dream.
Number 5. Amy Adams definitely felt her age with this choreography.
I'm required to dance in this?
In an interview with Jimmy Fallon, Adams discussed how the last time she danced, she was still in her 20s. Now that she's returning to the role of Giselle in her 40s, Adams has said,
In my heart, I look like I'm in my 20s when I'm dancing.
And yet, when she went to watch her dancing back in playback, she was shocked.
Whoa, that's not the same.
Number 6. Amy Adams made Disenchanted for her daughter. The critically acclaimed actress has made a number of movies that her daughter can't watch, leading to her daughter asking if she can make another movie like Enchanted. Adams has also said that becoming a mother has made her want to teach her daughter that
Moving forward can be just as enchanting as looking back.
If you look closely, you can even see Adams' daughter make a brief cameo in the marketplace close to the beginning of the movie.
She just had a lot of questions about how I was behaving.
Yeah.
That was her thing.
Number 7. These two actresses have been friends for years.
At a birthday party.
At a birthday party.
Yes.
That's right.
The pair of them first met at a party when Maya Rudolph correctly predicted that Amy Adams was pregnant. And even despite their years of familiarity, Rudolph was stunned when she saw Amy Adams in costume. She felt like she was actually talking to Giselle, stating, I knew that Amy was doing it for me, but I felt like a kid, like when little girls are talking to a princess at Disneyland.
It's so lovely to talk to Giselle. Giselle is real.
Number 8. What would an Andalusian princess from New York sound like? Idina Menzel spent plenty of time considering this on the set of Disenchanted, admitting that she agonized over her accent with director Adam Shankman. Her character, Nancy, has been through some pretty big changes since the first film, coming from being a cynical New York chick to spending 15 years in the fairy tale world of Andalusia, and Idina Menzel needed to find the balance.
So I try to just be cool and...
Number 9. Amy Adams has a lot of experience talking to herself. Before taking off to Ireland, a few of the more CG animated scenes were filmed in studio, especially the scenes that have Giselle speaking with Pip. So when it came time for Amy Adams to talk to herself as Giselle's evil stepmother persona, she apparently found it easy to do because, as she put it, I've been talking to myself for a couple of weeks.
I'm one of those people who thinks it's really funny.
Number 10. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Filming for Disenchanted started during quarantine, and so Amy Adams recorded the first few tracks of the songs in her coat closet from home. Some of the audio recorded from her closet even made it into the movie. The lyrics to Fairy Tale Life hit her especially hard during this time, as she found it to be a reminder to just appreciate and love those around you. Number 11. Enchanted had some pretty impressive costumes.
One of the most magical things about being back in the world of Enchanted is wearing fabulous costumes.
With the wedding dress that Amy Adams wore in the first movie apparently weighing a grueling 45 pounds, there were some high expectations for the outfits for the sequel. The costume designer for Disenchanted is Joan Bergen, who went for a more romantic storybook feel this time around. Idina Menzel has commented on how the costumes helped her to better get into character, stating,
For me, it was great because I got to dress up and wear a corset and feel really honored.
Number 12. Did you recognize these references? Several of the costumes in Disenchanted are meant to serve as callbacks to previous Disney films. The three garden fairies are dressed in blue, red, and green, as a reference to Flora, Fauna, and Merryweather from Sleeping Beauty. Morgan's blue dress is meant to resemble Cinderella's, and in the final scene, Giselle is styled after Lady Tremaine. Tyson resembles Prince Charming, and Rosaline and Ruby are dressed similarly to Cinderella's wicked stepsisters. Number 13. Filming a musical is hard work. When discussing what she had to do to prepare for her Dueling villain song with Amy Adams, Maya Rudolph said,
I felt like I was training for a marathon.
and with good reason, it took them 10 straight hours to film the scene. And yet, despite the long hours and grueling training process, Rudolph felt as though she were living a dream, stating,
It felt so good and so gratifying because it was the culmination of all of the hard work.
Number 14. Talk about short notice. The Tick's Griffin Newman was approached by producer Barry Josephson about auditioning for Disenchanted, but he didn't think that he was being considered for the role of Pip until the last minute. Still, he impressed Amy Adams so much that she called up Josephson afterward to tell him, I think we should hire that guy.
So you better unwish that wish quick.
Number 15. You can see real magic whenever these two are together. Stephen Schwartz, who Idina Menzel has described as
My fairy godmother when it comes to musicals.
has promised to give the songstress her own musical solo in Disenchanted. This is to make up for the fact that Enchanted was supposed to end with a massive musical number by Menzel that was ultimately cut from the final film. Number 16. Time to go back to the drawing board. Reshoots for Disenchanted were performed in England and New York City after an initial screening of the film received mixed reviews. This led to some concern among fans regarding how much of the movie was going to be rewritten, and if any of what was filmed in Ireland was ever going to make it to the screen at all, prompting director Adam Shankman to promise all of Ireland is still there. We just shot a couple scenes that had been cut. Enchanted was clearly a magical experience for our cast, and we're glad to hear that they've had just as much fun on the set for Disenchanted. Which of these returning stars are you excited to see take on their iconic roles yet again? Make sure to let us know down in the comments.